Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today, in continuation of our SharePoint series, we are going to cover something very important that you need to be aware of. Now, ever imagine what happens when a critical vulnerability meets a determined hacking group? Today, we are diving deep into the Warlock ransomware attack, a significant threat primarily targeting the Microsoft SharePoint server, which was a zero-day vulnerability. Let's get started. Now, today we are talking about the threat actor group Storm 2603. Now, these are very highly coordinated campaigns which are orchestrated by a China based hacking group known as Storm 2603. Now, Microsoft has been actively tracking their activities and noting their use of SharePoint vulnerabilities to unleash ransomware since 18 July 2025. While Warlock is their current weapon of choice, Microsoft has also observed the Storm Group deploying other nasty payloads in the past, and that involves nothing but a logbit ransomware. And what's chilling is that Microsoft is currently unable to confidently assess what is the specific term objective of the APT group. And to add another layer of concern, Microsoft, a threat intelligence researcher, have linked the Storm Group to other Chinese state-backed hacking group, which is Linen Typhoon and Violet Typhoon. This connection suggests a potential well-resourced and coordinated operation behind this widespread attack. Now let's look at the entry point of the critical SharePoint vulnerabilities. So how do they get in actually? Now the attacker gains their initial access by exploiting a vulnerability chain known as the tool shell zero-day exploit chain. This chain includes a serious flaw such as 2025-49706, 49704. And this, the cybersecurity and CISA, which is Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, has also flagged the 2025 0D 53770, a remote code execution flaw that's the part of this very same tool shell chain in its catalog of actively exploited vulnerability. This isn't just a theoretical studies, these are being actively used in while to compromise the system. Given the severity, Microsoft has issued a very strong warning and strengthened their security tools that all the organization must apply on-prem SharePoint server security updates immediately and follow the detailed mitigation guidance. In fact, Microsoft has even released emergency patches for these SharePoint remote code execution flaws. So, what is the scale and the impact of the attack? Now, this leads to the widespread compromise, which involves the non-profit security organization Shadow Server is currently tracking over 420 SharePoint servers exposed online that remains vulnerable to these ongoing attacks. Dutch cybersecurity firm, which is iSecurity, who initially detected these zero-day attacks, reports that the attackers have infected at least 400 servers with malware and successfully breached 148 organizations worldwide. And according to iSecurity CTO, most of them already compromised and they weren't aware about it. So, how is this sophisticated attack flow post breach actually happens and deployed to the Warlock ransomware? So, once Storm Group, which is 2603, gains an initial access through those SharePoint vulnerabilities, their methods of deploying Warlock ransomware is a sophisticated one. This involves multi-stage process that leverages common yet powerful hacking tool. The very first is the initial access. They exploit the tool shell zero-day vulnerability chain in Microsoft SharePoints to gain their initial foothold. Credential theft. After breaching the victim networks, Storm operators uses the well-known hacking tool which is Mimikatz to extract the plain text credential directly from the LSAS memory. This is a critical step, often providing them with the limited privileges, including domain administration rights also. And then typical infrastructure And then typical flow moves to the lateral movement. With stolen credentials in hand, the attacker then moves laterally across the compromised network. They use the tools like PS execution, which allows them to execute process on remote system, and then M-Packet toolkit that enables a stealthy movements across the network. As a part of a command execution, they further executed the commands via Windows Management Instrumentation, which is ultimately powerful feature they can abuse to automate malicious tasks across multiple machines. And the last is the ransomware delivery. Finally, to ensure widespread infection, the attackers modify the group policy objects or GPOs to deliver warlock ransomware across all the compromised system and the network. By altering GPO, they can push the ransomware payload efficiently to many machines simultaneously, ensuring the maximum impact. So, to sum it up, these warlock ransomware attacks by Storm Group are like a highly skilled lock picking team. Imagine they find the master key, that's the tool shell exploit chain, to a massive building, our SharePoint server. They don't just open the front door, they then proceed to steal all the security guard credentials with Mimikatz. With those credentials, they move freely through the entire building using tools like PS execution and Impacket, and activate the building internal management system using Windows Management Instrumentation, and ultimately triggered a building-wide alarm system by modifying GPUs that locks down all vital rooms with their own unique and unbreakable warlock ransomware. This makes the recovery extremely very challenging. To remediate this, few things that you can take into consideration: patch your systems as soon as possible. Second, if you see any anonymity in your network, trigger your rapid response immediately so that you can contain the attack as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other cybersecurity topics you would like me to cover. Thank you and have a nice day.